What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome to my brand new gaming channel, Hardcore Gaming. Today we're playing Calibria Crystal Guardians. But before we get into the game, I want to give a special shout out to Stu Gaming. The guy is truly an inspiration. He's inspired me to follow my dreams. I'd wish the guy and his family nothing but the best. Stu, thank you. You really, truly have been an inspiration to me and probably every other content creator out there. Thank you, Stu. Really, thank you. Okay, and now also before we get into the video, I also want to start by saying that I've been playing gacha games probably for about 8 years plus now. I played Summoning War. I've been playing Raid. Raid has actually really been getting to me lately. That's the reason why I'm not starting with Raid, because I actually found Calibria about 3 days ago, and Calibria has actually been refreshing compared to Raid. So I actually wanted to start with Calibria because I feel like Calibria is the game that I'm going to start playing. It is a very well designed, fun, and just free to play, friendly game. Exactly what Raid Shadow Legends should be. Okay, so now let's get into the guide, guys. First things first, you're going to start the game. Now, I know when you start a gacha game like this, it can be very, very, very overwhelming, and I understand that. But I'm going to teach you some things that's going to make it not overwhelming, and you're going to be able to fly through progression without having to spend $1. So now the first things first, they're gonna start you off in a campaign, and they're gonna start you with Angel of Death, and they're gonna start you with Guardian Knight. Now they're both very good champions. If you don't plan on spending money and you don't plan on pulling too much, I know they give you like probably 20, 30 free summons in the beginning. You'll probably pull something better, but if you don't be afraid to build these two champions. There's nothing wrong with them. They are very good. You can use them. So with those two champions, if those are the champions that you want to use in the beginning, you're going to go into your campaign, and they're going to start you in campaign. And just like any other gacha game, you're going to go through the levels of campaign, and you're going to farm experience to level up your champions. And your first goal should be, as you're playing campaign, is to make sure you're building a catacombs team. So whatever it is that you're champions that you're farming, you want to make sure that the champions that you're going to use in your catacomb team, which I'm going to show you how you pick those champions for your very first catacomb team. But for the first couple days, you're going to be in campaign. Now, I've only been playing this game for about 3 days. Yesterday they had a server down, and today they had a maintenance break pretty much for like half the day, which I don't understand why they would have a maintenance break for that long. Maybe it was just my server. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if your server was down as well. But my server was down pretty much half the day. I think I bought one of the growth packs. I think that's the only thing I've spent so far. I think it was like $15 or $20. And then my server went down, and I really haven't been able to do much after that. So I haven't really been able to grind much. But when I do start grinding, the first thing that I'm going to be looking for is speed. I believe in gacha games, speed is king. So I know other people have different opinions on that, but even early game, I think speed is the best thing you can go for. So for me, personally, I go straight to Earl Plains because it drops speed runes. And now all these places drop different runes. All you have to do is click the little I button on the top, and it'll tell you exactly what runes they drop. But for me, I like agile because I want speed. I want speed, and every part of the game I always want to be fast, 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 fast. I think that's the most important thing is speed, 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 speed. I know some people will disagree with that, but I think speed is the way to go. Early game, late game, speed is king, I think. So for me, for what I do in my first couple days is I want to level up my catacombs team. And now I already picked my catacombs team, and I'm going to teach you guys how to pick your catacombs team as well. But for me, I'm doing it on hard because I have the champions to level up enough in the past few days that I can play hard now. So it gives me more experience. So of course I'm going to do the hard. You guys will start on normal just like I did. It's going to drop very basic runes. You want to make sure that you don't waste your mana, because mana is very, very hard to get in these games. So you only want to level them up to like level 6, level 9, just enough to be able to play the beginning stages of catacombs where you can get runes that you can actually invest your mana in, whatever they call it in this game, that you can actually invest that stuff in, because you don't want to blow it, because then when you start farming catacombs, you're not going to have any of it to level up your your good runes. So don't go crazy leveling these runes up. Just throw them on your champions. Get them like level 6, just enough to start your first dungeon runs or catacomb runs, whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to be phrasing a lot from Raid and Summoning War, but I'm sure a lot of you guys play those games as well. So for me, this is my team that I'm using in Catacombs. Again, I'm going to explain to you why I'm using this team. But what I do is I just keep playing these level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6. And the reason I do that is because it drops a slot for each gear slot that you have on your champion. They have 6 gear slots, and it drops slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, slot 6. It drops it in each level of the campaign. So you want to do that maybe 20, 30 times each level, maybe more. It depends how much, if you're going to spend money on the game or not, or how much you want to level the champions up before you get into your catacombs. So that's what I've been doing for the past, probably the past 2 days. Yesterday I really couldn't play at all. As I said, the server was down. So there you go. So you get experience, you start leveling up your champions. Now, how did I pick these champions? Now, the reason I pick these champions is because you need, early game, it's very important. You need 3 debuffs that are very important, and I would say one buff that's really important, and there's other ones that you can use, but I think one buff that is really, really important that you also need, because in the catacombs, he gets an attack buff and he hits really, really hard. So you want to make sure that you have an attack down, a defense down, and a poison. Now, I would say attack down being number 1. I don't think you could even attempt it without having an attack down. Now, you could have strippers to strip off the giant's attack buff, but early game, you're probably not going to worry about getting a stripper. I think it's called Dispel in this game. You're not going to really worry too much about that early game. You just want to make sure you have an attack down until you get to the later levels. So in this game, makes it so simple. So you start the game, right? You start the game, you play in your campaign, they start giving you a bunch of summons, you get like 30, 40 summons, you start summoning everything, and now you have all these champions, like me, for example. I think I did about 30 summons so far, and let me tell you that $20 in this game goes so much further than $20 would go in Summoning War or Raid Shadow Legends. It goes so much further. This game is so much more free to play friendly. I don't know if it's just because it's a month old or whatever it is, but it just seems so much more free to play friendly. So now when you're doing your campaign and you want to know what champions to level up, now you want to go back to those 3 debuffs. You want to make sure attack down, defense down, and poison. Now, poison is not as important late game as it is early game. I believe poison loses its value the later you get in the dungeons, because early game you can't one-shot anything. You're not going to be able to one-shot stuff. You're going to need poisons to slowly tick down the boss. Late game, you're going to get stronger. You're going to be able to just start one-shotting everything. You're not going to worry about it. So I think speed slow actually takes over poison later in the game. So but for now, we're just going to stick to attack down, defense down, and poison. And this game makes it so simple for you to find the champions you need to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your champion list, you're going to click on your archives, and you're going to go to filter. Now, the first one you want is attack down. Me, I like to have 2 attack downs on my team. You can have 1. I recommend 2 early game because, like I said, the giant Colossus, whatever you want to call it, hits so hard that you need to make sure you have an attack down up at all times. So you want to go down here, you're going to scroll down, you're going to click attack down. Now you see all the champions that I summon that have attack down are lit up. So now I can pick from these 4 champions which one I'm going to put in my team based on the fact that they have attack down. Now the second one is right below this one is defense down. Same thing. You want to make sure you have probably 1 or 2 defense downs on your team. Defense down is very important. You do more damage, you kill him quicker, he can't hit you as much. The thing is, you want to make sure he's doing the least amount of hits on you as possible. And another thing I noticed in this game is that you can actually freeze the boss, and in other games like Raid Shadow, Summoning War, you cannot freeze the boss. So in this game, freeze is actually very, very good for bosses compared to other games, but that's more of a late game thing, so we'll go over that in another video. And now the next thing you need is poison. And I actually have 3 of them. I'm not going to build a 1-star. If I didn't pull the champions I pulled and I had no choice, yes, I would build him. You don't really want to build a 1-star. But like I said, I have the mummy and I have the snake here. I chose the mummy personally. I thought his skills were a little bit better, so I went with the mummy. And I think he's going to do just fine for what I need him for. So that is how I came across my first team. Now, I got very lucky, and I pulled a couple 4 stars, and one of the 4 stars that I pulled, Una, she seems amazing. I'm actually going to do a champion guide on her because for a 4 star, I mean, I haven't been playing long, so I haven't really got to look through the other 4 stars, but from what I can see, she does defense up, attack up, dispels, and some dispels, and she does something else. Increase attack, and the defense up. And those are the 2 buffs that I wanted to go over with you. The 2 buffs that I think you would need early game more than anything is defense up. Defense up is going to be super important because, again, the guy hits super hard. And if you don't have something to strip him, you are definitely going to need protection. So with her being a healer, a defense up, and an attack up, it's just she covers so many roles that for me, she has to be in my team. So now you want to make sure that she is your fastest champion because you want to make sure that defense buff is up more as much as possible. You want to make sure it's you want to make sure it's up as much as possible. And if she's slow, the boss is going to move probably before she even get her first defense buff up. So you want to make sure that your defense buff and your attack buff moves first. Your attack down or defense down moves second or third. I believe that you can. Some people like the defense brick to go first because you do more damage. But you can have your attack down go first. There's no problem with that. The attack down can go first, and then your defense down, and then your poisoner. Then after that, if you have extra slots, then you can pick any champions you want after that, as long as you hit those 2 buffs and those 3 debuffs. So that would be the way you would build your first catacomb team. Now I will show you a run in the catacombs, just to show you. I've only been playing 2 days. I really haven't spent anything. I haven't grinded anything quite yet. And to get to the catacombs, you can actually just click this little portal right here, and it brings you straight to the catacombs. The magic catacombs, all the stuff that you're gonna need in the future. I'm going to go over magic in a second, but for now let's just start with this. Let's say catacombs. I'm 2 days in. I probably did like maybe 50 campaign runs total, and that's really not that much. So now I'm going to show you how the team works. Okay, so actually I made him a little too fast. He's actually moving too fast, so I'm actually going to slow him down a little bit. So my I actually want my Una to move first, but it's okay because she moves second, so it's still close enough. But you see how the team works. You see protection, attack up, and then my debuffs are next. And you're just slowly gonna, if you can't do major damage to the boss, the poisons are slowly gonna take him down, and that's why I think poisons are so important early game for your early game progression. But I think this is level 4. And I mean, I beat him fairly easy. And I mean, the runes that I'm using are campaign runes, and they're powered up to level 6. They're not. I'm not gonna take them up to level 9. I'm not gonna take them up to level 12. I feel like that would be a waste because I'm gonna start getting better runes from catacombs now. But if you see how hard he hits, you see with that attack buff up, he hits so hard, and I have a defense buff up and shield on, and he's still hitting so hard. And this is only level 4. So you got to keep in mind you need an attack down and a defense up. Very important for your first dungeon team. And look, already a 5-star rune, HP, crit rate, not the best, but better than the campaign runes. So even if you had I would say you want to get to level 7 before you really start farming runes. But you could start at like level 5, level 6 if you don't have, like if you're not going to spend any money and you're not going to buy rune packs, then you're probably going to have to start at level 5 and get some basic runes and then move on from there, which is everyday progression. Okay, so now after that, you want to go back to the heroes here. And the next thing you want to do is you're going to want to evolve the heroes. I did the monk because I saw Jubego using the monk. He doesn't really fit in my team right now, but I think he might fit in my arena team, so I evolved him because they have the rewards, and if you do the rewards in like 3 days, I think it is, you get double the rewards. So you want to make sure you do those rewards right in the beginning because you get double the amount of rewards, and I think that's, pretty cool. So you want to make sure you do it, and it's very easy. You only have to do a couple runs to be able to evolve him, so you want to make sure you do that. In this game, what's really cool is once you evolve him, that's it. He's done. He's evolved. You don't got to do nothing else. Raid, Shadow Legends, Summoning War, you have to go through each star. So, and it gets more expensive, more expensive, more expensive. In this game, you do it one time, you're done. He's good to go. It changes the look. He looks awesome, looks cool. Now, I know if you played Raid Shadow Legends, the graphics aren't as good, but I feel like the graphics kind of grow on you in a game like this. Like, at first I was a little like, but now that I'm playing it, I actually think the graphics are pretty cool. So, I mean, it's just because you're playing Raid for so long that you feel like those graphics are so good that you only want to play that game because of the graphics. But let me tell you that this game design is so much better than Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, and then so after that, the next thing is runes. We kind of went over runes already. Again, I always go with slot one. I always go with speed, 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 speed. Always speed rune, slot one, speed. Always. For me, speed is king. All my champions have speed rune slot one, speed rune slot one, and crit rate or crit damage in this slot. Early game, you're gonna go crit rate. Late game, you're gonna go crit damage, and actually, one thing that confused me with this game was the hit percentage. I wasn't sure what that was, but now I'm pretty sure it's accuracy. I'm pretty sure hit percentage means accuracy. I'm going to look further into that to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that hit percentage means accuracy. So in this game, hit percentage is accuracy. So if you get a hit percentage rune and you had a poisoner, early game, it's probably good to put that on him because then he'll land his poisons more often. Okay. And the next thing I want to go over is the actual champion type itself. So you look over here, you got the monk, and he's an attack type champion. You've got Angel of Death, which I think she's an amazing starting champion. Don't be afraid to build her. She's amazing. She's got speed slow. She's got defense down. She's a great campaign farmer. She has a mechanic where if she kills something, she keeps going. She can literally one-shot each stage after stage after stage. She's amazing. Build her if you don't have anything better. Even if you have something better, I would still say you can build her, no problem. She's attack based. Then you have this guy, he's defense based. And now just because they say attack based, defense based, HP based, doesn't mean you have to build them like that. So for me, like with attack based champions, as I get later in the game, I like to use defense and HP percentages instead of attack percentages, because I feel like, especially with how hard the bosses hit, you're going to go a lot further. You're going to do a lot more damage with an HP or defense percentage rune than you are with an attack percentage. Because you're going to build the glass cannon and she's going to die the first round and then she becomes useless. If you have HP or defense, she's going to be able to go multiple rounds and get healed and she's never going to die. So she's going to do more damage over time. So I definitely feel that HP percentage and defense percentage on attack champions is totally fine early game, even sometimes late game. Me, I kind of like defensive-based champions, like in the other games that I played. I haven't been playing this game long enough to really know that if defense-based are good in this game. Obviously, I'm building 2 defense-based champions just to see how they interact, like, in the campaign runs and in the dungeon runs. But from what I can see, it's the same way in this game. Defense is probably the best way because you can just stack defense and crit damage, and then he's going to hit hard and he's going to last forever, which I think is amazing. So for me, I like defense HP based champions personally. The next thing is Ascension Cats. These cats you're going to use to level up your actual champion. So now when I get my monk to level 30, I'm going to take 3 of these guys and I'm going to level up my. So let me show you. I don't know if I can do it yet because my monk is not leveled up yet. But what I would do is I would click on my monk here, and I would enhance him. But what happened was, if he was max level, I would be able to take the 3 cats, feed it into him, and bring him to a 4-star. Same thing, 4-star, 5-star, so forth and so forth. And then they have these guys, which is to level up experience. These cats, you want to make sure you're not using it to level up the actual level. You want to make sure you're leveling up from 3 to 4 to 5, not his actual, like, level 21, level 22. You don't want to use it for that. You want to use these for that. You want to use an XP cat for XP. I'll actually show you that one here. So I'll take my monk here. Here's my monk. And I'm going to feed, it's a little confusing because in this game they call it like Enhance and Ascend, and in Raid Shadow Legends it's a little different. So I got to get used to that. But here we're going to scroll down. We're going to take an XP cat. And we're going to ascend him. No, we're going to enhance him. And yes, and you see now he went up in percentages. I mean, it wasn't much, but if you have a lot of them and you feed them, and you can level them up faster, so you don't have to stay in campaign as long. And the next thing I think I have in my storage is a skill cat. skill cat here. This you're going to use for skills. I would not recommend using any of these early game. Wait until you get a little progression and you know that you have good champions that you're going to use, because even though like a lot of people play these games and they're like, they want nat fives, they want nat fives, they want nat fives, they get nat fives, they build nat fives, but early game it's very hard to just to build to build a nat 5. It's much easier to build a nat 3 or a nat 4. So I get that nat 5s are cool and everything, but early game you don't really need them, and you don't want to just start feeding all your stuff or all your resources into one if you don't even know if you're going to use him later in the game. So I definitely feel like building 3-4 stars early game is definitely the way to go. I mean, if you get a 5-star, great, use him if you can. If you're going to spend money, I'm sure you'll be able to build him. But if you're not going to spend money, I would probably just slowly build him, and I wouldn't worry about dumping too many resources into him until you're later in the game when you know that that champion is going to be the champion that you're going to use all around the game. Now, also, as far as skill cats go, which brings me to arena, and you want to make sure that you do your arena battles every day. So here you're going to go to your arena. You're going to put one monster in your defense, and you're going to make sure you use your tokens every day, because this totem here is very important. These stats go through the whole entire game. So every time you level up a totem, every single champion gets these stats. So crit damage, attack, every time you level one of these up, you see 200. Every time you, like I'll show you here. I'm going to go with speed because, like I told you guys, speed is king for me. Speed is king. I'm always going to start with speed first. I'm going to level up my speed totem first before I do anything else, because I think speed is king. Now, you can also, I believe, from your shop, you can also buy a skill cat. Now, I recommend buying this every single week. Every single week, make sure you're doing your arena battles so you can buy your skill cat. It's very, very important. Make sure you buy them every week, put them in your storage, and save them. They will come in handy. You will need them later on in the game. So just make sure every day you're doing your arena battles. They're very easy early game. Click it here. I'm using a couple defensive champions in mine because I wanted to see how they play compared to attack-based champions. And again, same thing. Just make sure you do this every day. You just click auto. And just make sure you do your tokens every day, because it's one of the most important things of this game, because those stats, people don't realize that those stats are used everywhere. And it's very important that you do this along with your campaign and catacomb grinding, especially early game. The more you do early game, the better off you're going to be late game. Okay, so and I think that's pretty much it. I just want to say one more thing. I want to go over packs in this video, but there's one thing I want to say. If you're going to play this game a lot and you're really going to grind this game, you definitely want to buy these half moon cards, because they're going to double your experience. It's going to help you so much with your mana. It's going to help you so much in growing, that if you're willing to spend money, these are some of the best things you can spend money on, is the half moon cards. I would definitely recommend buying those. The growth packs are very good too. My next video, I'm going to do some growth pack openings, and I'm going to go over the growth packs themselves, but I definitely think the half moon cards are very, very good buys if you're going to spend money. Also, if you're going to spend money for your growth plan, I didn't realize this when I first started playing because the servers and everything, but you can double your rewards. I think it's $5 each. I think it's $30 total. This is probably the best money you can spend in a gacha game. So if you plan on spending money, this is one of the best things you can spend your money on. It's going to double your rewards. You're going to get a ton of stuff. If you're going to spend money, do it. Don't feel bad doing it. It's going to progress you way faster. If I didn't collect so many, because I think I collected a lot of it. Yeah. See, I don't have enough left to do it. But if I realized that in the beginning, I definitely would have bought the 2x cards, because it would have just gave me double my stuff. So instead of getting like 40 summons, I would have got, 80 summons. And that's a big, big difference. But overall, the game so far for me, it's refreshing. And I'm happy to have this as my first game on my channel. I can't wait to get further into it and start really grinding the game itself. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Space out. Peace.